podcast, I'm supporting. Like, I'm the best supporting actress. I'm shooting the podcast and behind the camera. Or I'm like the person that's doing the dialogue back and forth with whose podcast it actually is. I'm like the guest. But I'm never the podcaster. I'm never the podcaster.
You are now.
You are now.
Sometimes you gotta step back from the world and get lost.
What's up, y'all? It's Spade. Yeah, so this is episode 1 of our Black podcast. This is something that's been a little while in the making. I know y'all have been wanting me to podcast for quite some time. So here is for all the people who have been religiously asking me to jump on a podcast and live their fantasy. You're welcome.
Real quick, friend, I hope you enjoy this podcast. But keep in mind, this whole thing is unscripted, so I've outlined each part with a frame to help keep you on track with the dialogue.
So today on our Black podcast, we will be talking a little bit about my queer experience in Atlanta. I want to be specific in saying my queer experience in Atlanta because the queer experience in Atlanta as a collective is going to look like a lot of different things because everybody who steps in this city is here a different way and they have their own lived reality that might not be congruent with what my experiences are. So boom. First and foremost, let's get to the tea. Why did I move here? Why? Why not anywhere else? What was wrong with Houston? What was wrong with Denver, Colorado? What was wrong with the spaces in which I came from? So just to give you some context, because most of y'all, if you're here for the first time, you're not going to know who the fuck I am. To give you some context, I've lived a lot of places. I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. I lived in Louisiana for the good majority of my childhood and teen years, moved to Texas, joined the military, got stationed in Colorado.
2 hours later.
Europe for a while.
Brother, this guy stinks!
So I moved to Atlanta because I really wanted to experience a Black queer community. In Denver, when I tell you I was in the gay bars every night, shout out to Blush and Blue because I lived there. I was in that bitch religiously and I loved the lesbian scene. I think that was when I first really experienced what it was like to be in a lesbian environment and how safe and how much more welcoming it is than being in straight spaces or gay men's bars and having to share the space with people who don't necessarily want you there. Houston, on the other hand, very popular city. Everyone knows Houston is Black as fuck.
I know that's right.
But Houston, to me, even though there are lesbian clubs in Houston, like the vibe of them, it doesn't give community. Like the lesbian bars in Houston feels like the lesbians are here and we trying to fuck each other. That's the whole thing. It's like a little bit more communal. Like it feels like you with your people. Like I've definitely been to a queer event before where niggas is playing spades at the table.
My nigga.
Like it's giving very much family cookout. Like we love that real bad. But I will say, as much as I do praise the fact that Atlanta's queer scene has an entire queer scene for Black queer women, and let me not act like I'm the god of Atlanta's queer scene because I'm definitely not. I'm new here. Please don't kill me. But we don't necessarily have our places. Like, where do we go on a regular night? It's definitely a space that we have curated on our own and we made to be what it is today. But it's not a space that exists already that we can come into. There's MSR, but that's not our space. They're gay men's bars. Those are not our spaces. Those exist for the other people who exist in the queer scene, right? So for us as a collective, something there I feel like is deeply missing.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, frame, you still here? Good. Next frame.
Dating out here. They say the water got piss in it. They say the dating pool water's got piss in it. I personally, I haven't been having fun.
Life like this sure is sweet, huh?
It definitely is.
I'm one of the few. I'm one of the few real bad. I have really been enjoying my experiences. dating as a Black queer woman specifically, you can find Black queer women everywhere. Like in other places, like Denver specifically. Sorry, Denver, you catch strays today. There's such a scarcity of Black queer women there. If you want to date within that paradigm, you'll probably have dated all of the Black queer women in the first 2 months, and that's probably you and the bitch you decided to date. That's the whole scene. And however, to my own pleasure, I have had my experiences. Anna is a little bit more liberal about the queerness aspect of things. A lot of people are in open non-monogamous relationships. A lot of people are kind of like in a polycule. A lot of people are dating. I almost want to say they're dating outside of the binary. There are a lot of non-binary people here, so there is a good amount of people dating outside of the binary. But I will say, even then, and I'm gonna get on you real quick, because even then, you're dating within the heteronormative performances of queerness. So even when someone is dating a non-binary person, they're going for a masculine presenting non-binary person if they're a femme. If a masculine presenting person, a stud, let's say, is dating a non-binary woman, they're going for a femme presenting non-binary woman. There's a question that came up on the chat. I'll call it the chat. The question that came up on the chat is, what do I identify as? I identify as genderqueer. I accept all pronouns: she, her, they, them, he, him. And then my sexual preference, which I feel like I have been notioning at, but I haven't said. I prefer women and women adjacent people. The women are going to get me every time. And the question of the chapter, I prefer femme or mas. I prefer both. I don't have a preference. I love beautiful women. About me is beauty is beauty. Is beauty is beauty. I don't see a woman and tell myself that I don't find them attractive because they don't fit in a particular box. I prefer a woman that's who she is, and confidence is everything. And if you just so happen to be fine as fuck and on top of being confident, then that's all I need. That's all I need. I don't care about none of that other shit. And I go to the gym for a reason. First of all, shout out to my BBWs. I go to the gym for a reason, sweetheart. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. Yeah. And I come with the same energy in spite of however you show up, like however you are. Even with studs, specifically with studs. All right, first of all, shout out to all the studs who ever fuck with me. And also, studs love to pretend like they not with the shits. When I tell you I have done every single thing I have done to a femme, to a stud, I don't mean I miss anything, baby. Head to toe, same thing. Guaranteed. You gonna get licked, dipped, and flipped just like everybody else in this motherfucker. I guarantee it.
Just look at that ball!
But yeah, so heteronormativity, I think, is the other thing that I wanted to get at. The heteronormative idea that somebody has to be the masculine partner and somebody else has to be the feminine partner is still very true.
Hold on, wait. I meant to say real, not true. I do not by any means agree with heteronormativity.
I am both masculine and feminine, and if I can't show up masculinely and femininely in my relationships or in my situations, I don't feel like I'm expressing my true self, and I don't feel like it's a relationship that serves me. It's real straight out here for y'all to be gay. It's real straight for y'all to be lesbians. Like, why? It's giving very he, she, we, they, them. Being a vegetarian, friend.
It's giving he, she, we, they, them, non-binary, vegan, vegetarian. I'm scared. I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Not that. You gotta give love and basketball every single time. It's giving Sanaya Lathan struggles.
Please.
It's giving baby boy. Like,
Oh my God.
It's giving we're fighting for it. And why are we fighting to be oppressed in the same way that heterosexual women are? Have to serve a masculine figure and be oppressed by patriarchy in a lesbian relationship. Why we can't just be gay and happy and rub coochies and call it a day? It's very confusing for me. But so yeah, I appreciate y'all listening to this podcast regardless. So this is what the Our Black podcast episodes are going to give. It's just going to be me, you, and whoever comes through talking about the more pressing issues of what it means to be a Black queer woman, just discussing the Black queer reality, and really just getting at some of the notions that we feel and some of the sensations that we have around our existence in life. So you never feel alone. So you never feel like you're just having this conversation in your mind by yourself and there's no one else to talk to. You can always talk to me, and we can always talk to we. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your whatever, and I love you real, real bad.
Well, that's it. That's all, friend. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Follow us on Instagram at Our Black Podcast. DM us with your comments, likes, stories, what you want to hear us say next time. And find us for now on Spotify Podcast.